Government corruption is when people in power stop working for the public and start working for themselves. It can look like taking bribes, giving special treatment to friends, or misusing public money. When this happens, it breaks trust and hurts everyday people who rely on the government to be fair and honest.
Hi, my name is Lauren Eunice, and for my subtopic on government corruption focuses on the government's influence on the disparities in women's healthcare. For decades, private insurance companies in the United States have ignored women's health. It wasn't even until 1978 that covering pregnancy-related care like prenatal care and delivery even became a legal requirement. Even after that, it was still another decade before Medicaid closed the gaps for low-income Americans. Today, while Congress and state governments have raised the eligibility floors, this proven history of delayed justice shows that women's health care has always been used as a sort of political bargaining chip rather than a fundamental basic human right. There are still systemic inequalities deeply embedded in the U.S. healthcare system today.
Hi, my name is Dresden Downs, and my chosen subtopic of government corruption is money in politics. You'd think elections are decided by voters, but honestly, money plays a huge role. Ever since Citizens United versus Federal Election Commission, wealthy donors and corporations can spend tons of money influencing campaigns. That money goes into ads, media, and messaging that can shape what people see and believe, sometimes without them even realizing it. And that can mean politicians listen more to big donors than regular people like us. When a few voices have more financial power, it can drown out the concerns of everyday citizens. So pay attention to who's funding candidates, stay informed, and vote, because your voice should matter just as much as anyone else's.
Government corruption through favoritism and nepotism isn't simply unfair, but rather an issue we all face. Let's put it this way. You're thinking about applying for a job position, but get passed over despite being the best candidate, just because a less qualified person is related to those in power. Unfortunately, this isn't as rare as we think. There are studies that show up to 70% of government positions that have been affected by nepotism and favoritism. The result of this is that unqualified individuals make critical decisions. They reduce the quality of service provided while damaging the trust in leadership. Research has provided that around 87% of individuals lose confidence in leadership due to this corruption. At the end of the day, it turns opportunities about who you know rather than what you know.